So I've decided to do a little bit of video today. I bought this new little wood stove, little stick stove, called the Ohuhu, and I've seen great reviews on it and I've seen some great videos, and for 22 bucks I figured I would get one and give it a go. So I also discovered that it fits very nicely. That red bag on the end has all my pots and pans in it and the stove, and it all fits inside each other. It's like it was literally made for the same container. It's absolutely bloody brilliant. So I'm going to set this thing up, give it a go and see how it works. So let's give this a go and we can see what's what. Like I said, I bought this is my normal pots and pans, and as luck would have it, everything literally fits inside this thing. Comes with a little grill grate. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that much. I probably will. This is how I tend to pack everything. I put everything, I don't like wasted space, so I pack everything inside everything. So everything's packed inside here. I've got all kinds of extra bits in this stuff. It's wasted space otherwise. Yeah. Let me just take all this garbage out that I have in here. There we go. That's the actual stove itself. It's brilliant. Yep. But this is my normal pan that I use, and everything fits inside one pan. It's absolutely brilliant. I have all my firelight and stuff in here, and I have wire that I use for, you can use this for anything, cooking over fires or anything like that. Obviously you can't use cordage, but this is just normal picture wire. Works great. Yeah. And these things, I love these things. These are just tea lights. They're bigger than normal tea lights. These things allegedly burn for 6 hours. They're huge, and I bought a 30 pack of these from Walmart for about 10 bucks, and they're going to last me forever. They provide a good bit of heat, and it's also a nice wax too. So if you've got to light a fire in a bit of a damp environment, and it's pretty damp here today, this is everything's soaked and covered in snow, so we'll give it a go. But I can always shave off some wax off of here as well and use that for getting the fire going. I always carry my ever trusty cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. These things work an absolute damn. Yeah. Actually, I've never, in all the years I've been doing this, I've never found anything that works better than those things. Yeah. Right, so let me put all these bits back in here. I haven't opened those just yet. And the stove itself is actually pretty simple. That's kind of what led me to get one of these. I've made various stoves out of bean cans and big soup cans and all kinds of stuff. So you have a base, a top. You can either put this upside down like that, because they do give you a little tray so you can use alcohol, but I'm going to use it that way up, and that gives you your fire in there. And then when you're cooking, just fold out these little tops. Somebody made a comment that you couldn't put small containers on these things, right? So if you leave them folded in like that, you can actually put a very small cup on there. So if your cup is too small to fit down there, you need a bigger cup, because it will actually sit on there perfectly. So, but the idea is that you're supposed to fold them out this way, and when the fire's going, that sits on top of there, and that's your little stove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go and collect a bunch of twigs. I'm going to set this up under here somewhere. You can sit and snap off twigs all day long if you want with your hands. It's great. However, being humans, we're quite good at this technology thing. So I just bring these. I do a lot of trail clearing and marking and stuff. And these are actually great for just clearing off a little bit of overgrown brush, but they're also great for cutting up sticks for this. So I'm going to give this a go, and I should be back in a mo when I've cut up a good pile. So I've cut up a bunch of sticks. Now, some people stand the sticks upright. I'm going to try numerous ways of doing it. Some people use pellets in these things, and that does seem to be the most efficient way of using these things. But I'm going to try sticks first, and I can buy a 40-pound bag of the wood pellets for wood stoves from Canadian Tire for about $6.50, and that will last me forever. So I've got it set up in here. I've got my ever trusty cotton ball with Vaseline, so we will see if we can get it going. There we go. I love it. If you can't light a fire with Vaseline and the fire steel and cotton balls, don't bother, because that has to be. I've tried numerous ways of doing it over the years. That is by far and away my favourite way of doing it. It's pretty reliable too. So I'm going to try this. Get some heat going in here, and we'll see how this works out. Some of you are probably saying, hey, you're not supposed to have a fire above the little holes in there. Yeah, I do know. I'm just going to let that settle down in there a bit. I've left it kind of fluffed up so that get plenty of air under there. Once it's hot, because this wood is pretty wet, it's literally covered in snow, but I need to get a little bit of heat in there first and get some embers in the bottom before I can really do much with it. Some heat in there first, and then we'll see how that goes. There's a whole pile of down wood and what have you here. There's so much dead fall around here with little twigs on it, which is my other reason for trying this, is because a normal fire actually uses a fair amount of wood just to make a cup of tea and cook some breakfast. But if this actually works very well, I'm just going to buy one of those big bags of pellets, carry some of those with me in my pack, and that'll be that. Looks like we got a bit of heat starting to build in there. Yeah, I see flames in there, down in there, pretty good. So these work the opposite way around. These fires burn from the top down, not from the bottom up. So it's what we gasify or whatever. It comes out through the air, comes up the side through those little holes once it warms up. So I will pay attention to this for a little bit, get some heat going in there, and get back to you in a bit. Right, it's been going now for about 5 minutes or so. With this damp wood, it's taken a little bit just to kind of get it going, but it's taking shape. Starting to get some heat in there now, and I found some really nice dry bits. I never worry too much about size. A lot of people make videos and they go on about this size of wood and that size of wood or whatever. You want to start with small, get bigger and get bigger. With a twig stove, there's only a certain size that you can go up to. But I'm actually pretty impressed with that so far. We're starting to get some heat. Once I got a good layer of embers in the bottom there, it'll sink down in there a bit so I can get down below the air holes. You can see a little bit of air start to come out through there now, a bit of flame. But I'll get some heat in there and then I'll get some water going. I bought some nice tasty oatmeal with me today. I like oatmeal cooked on these, it's good. I've started a little bit of water on here. I'm just going to make some oatmeal. Now, the feeding of wood in there was brought up as an issue on one of the videos and that I saw, and I can certainly see how that would be a problem. However, it's 2 seconds just to take that off, drop a few twigs in and away you go. So I don't really see that being too much of an issue. With pellets in there, I think you wouldn't have to take that off at all pretty much to boil up all your water. One of the guys on one of the videos, I can't remember who it was now, said about cutting a chunk out of that top ring so you could feed wood in there. I don't think that'd be a particularly good idea because that's kind of a cone shape and that's where it gets its strength and structure from. So if you cut that, you're actually removing quite a lot of the structure out of that top metal ring. So I think for the inconvenience of lifting the pot up for 10 seconds and dropping some twigs in, I don't think that's really much of a problem. I think that's something that's very simple to deal with. I have to say, it's pretty cold out here today. I can't remember what the temperature is. It's minus something. -5, I think, something like that. That's centigrade. But look at the sunshine through the trees. Isn't that nice? I don't care what anybody says, that's real nice. And I'm just going to let that water boil for a second there. Get warm. And I'm going to wander over here. I do have my spikes on because it's pretty slippery in here. So I'm just going to set this up and go over here. Hopefully there's no bears around because my bear spray is now back at where the fire is. And if that is not a bloody nice way to wake up in the morning and come to see first thing in the morning, I don't know what is. I'm normally way off down the river down that way, but there's a really rocky section that I got to cross to get down to where I normally go, so I'm just going to stick with here today. I'm not as far down as I normally go. Very nice down by the river. Can't hold that, eh? Right. Let me head back up. These spikes, these are the micro spikes from Catula. I tell you what, I have no idea how I did all this stuff without that. You know, they're just absolutely amazing. Alright, looks like I've got some good steam coming off the water already. Look at that. Holy! Now I haven't got a lid on there. I do have a lid with me, but at the moment my lid is being used as a keep everything else out the snow container. Look at that. I've got bubbles in there already. Literally. I only put that on there a few minutes ago. That is amazing. Right. As is that view. I am going to throw some more sticks in there and see how I get on. Now something I do think is of good note. Got my oatmeal going, by the way. I love this stuff. It's so easy to make and it keeps you nice and warm too, especially on a really cold day. Because this doesn't have any means of regulating temperature, you either get full heat or nothing. Yeah. So the complaint of having to take it off to put sticks in the top, well, it's kind of mute really, because I have to lift this up and down every now and again just to regulate the temperature anyway, so that it doesn't actually burn. So yeah, it's not really too much of a problem. I think this actually works. Oh, that smells good. Yeah, unfortunately you can't smell that on the camera, but let me tell you, that smells good. Oh, that's thickening up nicely now. There we go. Oh, look at that. I actually put 2 packets in. So I do like oatmeal in the morning, it's nice. This is my breakfast. Yeah. Right. So we are pretty much done. Let that cool down now. Actually, that is so hot, that's crazy. So I'm just going to chuck some small sticks in here, top it up. Just to keep that going. I'm actually very impressed with how quickly it cooked it. How quickly it boiled the water. Okay, I only had a half pot of water in here, but it boiled it very, very quickly, and for an absolute minimum amount of wood. So if I built a fire, there was a fire pit thing here. If I built a fire in there to do the same job, I'd have probably used 20-30 times the amount of wood. So it's very efficient, and I can certainly now see why people use the little pellets, because you can put a Ziploc bag in your pocket and you can cook an entire meal on a Ziploc full of pellets for peanuts. So, yep. Right. Well, I'm just going to concentrate on eating my breakfast. Need to let this cool down a bit, actually. It's bloody hot. Just going to let this cool down. Oh, that's good. Oh, have a sniff. Oh, that is so good. Yeah. Right. So, I'll just let that little flames in the bottom. I'll chuck some more wood in there and get back to it. Help keep me warm as well. So I'm just letting that burn out. I've put a few twigs in there. I'm letting everything cool down. I've washed out the pots and stuff. And anybody that knows me will know exactly what time it is. It's tea time. Cannot beat a cup of tea out here today. Look at it, beautiful blue sky, absolutely lovely. Tomorrow, not going to be so nice, but today, absolutely beautiful blue sky day. Like days like this. And as luck would have it, where I cross, I built a bit of a bridge last year, and I was looking for an extra log. But as luck would have it, there is a tree, a nice pine tree, almost exactly the right size, which has fallen over probably 60-70 feet from where I built my bridge. So on the way back, I'm going to cut a 14-foot length out of it, and that can be another part of the bridge. I'm just going to let that die down. This thing is actually chucking off a remarkably good amount of heat, considering it's just a pile of twigs. It's actually giving off some good heat, and anything out in the middle of nowhere when it's cold, it gives off heat, is a good thing. So I'm going to enjoy my tea. Oh God, that tastes good. Nice tea. Well, let that cool down, let it burn out. Literally, it looks like what I'm going to be left with is just literally just a tiny little pile of ash. That looks like pretty much about it, which is what people have been saying about these things. But overall, I have to say this Ohuhu stove, although it's a bit of a weird name, let me tell you, it was worth every penny at 22 bucks. Yeah, love it. I should be making sure I keep that with me, because sometimes you can't find enough firewood to get a decent sized fire going. But all these pine trees, all the ones underneath the bottom, they're all tinder dry and rock solid. They burn really, really well. So that's all that was in here. Yeah. Just going to let that burn down and finish my tea. Then I'm going to go and build the rest of a bridge. Right, that'll do for that now. So all packed up, ready to go. No garbage left laying around. See, there is a pile of rocks there that people have used as a campfire before. However, to cook the same amount of food on the fire, you know, you're going to use piles and piles and piles of firewood. All that was left, a little tiny pile of ashes in the bottom there, and I mean, if I'd have let it burn, it would have been good. The advantage of doing this out here is to cool the stove down doesn't take more than 2 seconds. You can just literally roll it in the snow a couple of times and it's cold. Yeah, as you can see, that's where it was, and it just melted a bit of snow. It's absolutely amazing, worth every penny. I should be making sure that's in my pack. As always, one last look around, make sure you've left nothing behind, make sure there's no garbage. Only thing you want to leave behind is footprints. Right, my way out of here is off down that way, and I'm going to go and find me a log and finish building a bridge. Right, overall I have to say that Ohuhu stove is absolutely brilliant. Glad I got it. Right, back to the river and find me a log.